There are only 3 months now until the release of Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet on Nintendo Switch. Last week we got a new trailer which included a whole host of new information, including confirmation of some returning Pokémon from previous generations. Dexit really shook up the Pokémon community back when it was first revealed that for the first time, not every Pokémon from previous generations would be available in one of the main series games. And while a lot of the missing Pokémon did finally make a return in the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra expansions, there are still 231 Pokémon missing from the Galar games. Now, this does not mean that all of those Pokémon that you've caught in previous games are stuck in Pokémon Home. In fact, with the release of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, every Generation 1 to 4 Pokémon is able to make the journey from Pokémon Home and join your team in the Generation 4 remakes. So even if they weren't available in the Galar region, they can at least have some adventures with you in the Sinnoh region. Now, with the release of Legends Arceus, even more of the exiled Pokémon are able to come out of storage and join in the fun. But even then, there are still a handful of Pokémon from Generations 5, 6, and 7 that are unable to be transferred into any of the current Switch games, meaning if they're in Pokémon Home, there's no way out. So let's talk a little bit about the history of the storage systems, not within the main series, but outside of it. So it was back during the Gen 3 era that we finally got a way to store Pokémon outside of the games themselves. Pokémon Box was released on the GameCube in 2003 in Japan and 2004 for the rest of the world. This allowed Pokémon to be transferred from the Game Boy Advance games, so Pokémon Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, Fire Red, and Leaf Green, and they could be stored in a save file on a GameCube memory card. So this was a little bit different to how things work today, but it was very useful because it offered the ability to store 1,500 Pokémon from the Game Boy Advance games in one location, and it would reward players with bonus eggs when a certain amount of Pokémon had been deposited. In 2013, Pokémon Bank first launched on the 3DS, so this required an annual pass to use, which cost around £4.50 in my currency, probably about $5, and it took the idea of a centralized Pokémon storage system to a different level. So instead of locally, Pokémon were sent to cloud storage, and they could be transferred from 3DS games, so X, Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon, and as well as the Generation 5 games, so Black White, Black 2, and White 2, and then later on, functionality was added so that the Virtual Console games of Blue, Red, Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal could also use the Poketransporter app to transfer Pokémon from the Generation 1 and 2 Virtual Console titles into Pokémon Bank as well. So this is where it got quite interesting and maybe a little bit complicated, because Pokémon could be transferred from the Game Boy Advance games into Generation 4, so Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold, or so Silver, and then from those games into Generation 5, and then into Pokémon Bank. So you could catch a Pokémon in a 3rd generation game on a Game Boy Advance, and then you could transfer that into a Generation 7 game on the 3DS. This brings us to the most recent storage option, which is Pokémon Home. So Pokémon Home first launched in February of 2020. Maybe one of the only good things that we got that year. It offers a choice between a free and a premium plan. The free plan is free, and it offers 1 box of storage for up to 30 Pokemon. The premium plan offers either monthly, quarterly, or annual subscriptions, ranging from around about £3 a month, I think, for a monthly subscription, and about £16 a year for an annual one. It comes with 200 boxes of storage for up to 6,000 Pokemon, so that's a whole lot of storage. It takes the idea of cloud storage a step further. So the Pokemon stored in Pokemon Home can be managed either via the app on your Switch console or via a mobile phone app, so on, say, iOS or Android. It makes it easier to keep track of your collection on the go, and you can even arrange trades using the mobile app as well. So not only that, but Pokemon can also be sent from the Let's Go games, Sword and Shield, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and Legends Arceus, and even Pokemon Go as well. For the first time, a game that is actually outside of the main series, Pokemon can be sent into the centralized storage, and you can actually transfer those into your main series games as well. It even has built-in challenges with some rewards for completing them. So the best one is probably the challenge to complete the national dex, and you get rewarded with an original colour Magiana, which is the only way to obtain that form of Magiana. So what about Pokemon Bank? So you can transfer your stored Pokemon directly from Pokemon Bank to Pokemon Home as long as you've got a premium plan in Pokemon Home. You can even transfer them all at once, which is pretty impressive considering Pokemon Bank allowed storage of up to 3,000 Pokemon. So this sounds awesome. I've got Pokemon that I caught all the way back in Ruby and Sapphire around 20 years ago, and I can transfer those into the Switch games and I can use them in battle, or I can have them follow me around as I explore the Isle of Armor, Crown Tundra, or the Sinnoh region in the remix of Diamond and Pearl. As someone who hunts shiny Pokemon, this opens up quite a lot of options for which games I want to hunt in, which shiny hunting methods are available. Obviously, you've got things like the Poké Radar in Generation 4, you've got the Friend Safari in Generation 6, you've got Ultra Wormholes in Generation 7, so there's a few good ways of finding shinies, including finding shiny legendaries, and it opens up a lot of possibilities. Here's where we get back to the problem, which is compatibility with the Switch games. So Dexit still left out 231 Pokemon from the Galar region, even after the expansion pass added back over 200 of the missing Pokemon from the base games. Since Pokemon can be transferred from Bank to Home, but can't be transferred backwards again, this can cause some problems. Say for example, you catch a Pokemon which can evolve and you need the entries for both of them in your national dex. If you transfer that Pokemon into Pokemon Home and it isn't compatible with any of the Switch games, then you can't evolve that Pokemon because you can't get it out into a game to level up or to use an evolutionary item or whatever it takes to evolve that Pokemon. So you can't then get the entry for the national dex. Any Pokemon that isn't able to be sent to a Switch game is stuck there. As mentioned earlier, BDSP and Legends Arceus gave new life to a lot of the Pokemon that may have previously been trapped in Home. So even if they weren't available in Galar, then if they were one of the first 4 generations, you could transfer them into the Sinnoh remakes, or even some of the ones for later generations, so generations 5 to 7, some of them were compatible with Legends Arceus, so you could transfer them into that game and use them on your team or evolve them, whatever you needed to do there. Not all of the Pokemon are included. So at this moment in time, prior to the launch of Scarlet and Violet, there are currently 61 Pokemon, assuming that I've counted those correctly, who can be caught in earlier games and sent across into Pokemon Home, but they're stuck there once they are. So for the rest of this video, I'm going to call those the Forgotten. So the Forgotten are made up of 28 Pokemon from Generation 5 plus 1 mythical Pokemon, 20 Pokemon from Generation 6 plus another mythical Pokemon, and 11 Pokemon from Generation 7. So let's just go through the list. Generation 5, we're missing Snivy, Servine, Serperior, Tepig, Pignite, Emboar, Samurott, not Oshawott and Duot because they are available in Legends Arceus, but they evolve into Hisuian Samurott, so the Unovan form of Samurott is currently classed as Forgotten because it's stuck. You can't transfer it into any of the games. We've also got Patrat and Watchog, Pansage, Simisage, Pansear, Simisear, Pampor and Simipour, Blitzel and Zebstriker, Swaddle, Swadloon and Leavanny, Ducklet, Swanna, Deerling, Sawsbuck, Alola-Mola, Tynamo, Electric and Electros, and the mythical Pokemon Meloetta. So in Generation 6, we're missing Chespin, Quilladin and Chesnaught, Fennekin, Braixen and Delphox, Froakie, Frogadier and Greninja, which I find incredible considering how much attention it got during the Generation 6 era in general. We're also missing Scatterbug, Spupa and Vivillon. Vivillon's another big one because it got a lot of different forms and it was obviously quite a popular Pokemon for that reason. Litleo and Pyro, Flabebe, Floette and Florges, Skiddo and Gogoat, Furfrou and the mythical Pokemon Hooper. Generation 7, we're missing Pick-a-Peck, Trumbeak and Toucanon. Toucanon is a particularly sore subject for me because I did find a shiny Pick-a-Peck on my first playthrough of Pokemon Sun, and I've got that shiny Toucanon still sitting in Pokemon Home, unavailable to go anywhere. We've also got Yungoos and Gumshoos, Crabrawler, Crabominable, Oricorio, Minior, which is another really cool one which I'd like to see make a return, Komala and Bruxish. So, to make things more interesting, a while back Nintendo announced that the eShop on the Wii U and the 3DS are going to be closing. So this process has already begun. The full closure is due to take place in March of next year. It's currently August of 2022. In May of this year, the functionality to add funds using a credit or debit card was removed. And at the end of this month, August, the option to add funds using an eShop card is also going to be removed. So once the eShop does close next year and the servers that it runs on go offline, it's not going to be possible anymore to purchase or download any games or software, and this does include re-downloading anything that you've previously purchased or previously installed. So any free software, anything that you've previously bought and it's tied to your account. At the moment, while the servers for the eShop are still up, you can re-download that as much as you need to. But if you delete that from the storage on your 3DS, then after March next year, you're not going to be able to reinstall it. It's going to be completely unavailable, which is a bit of a shame. Obviously, some people are probably going to lose out on games that they've paid for, but it also means that it's not going to be possible to install Pokémon Bank anymore, because that is still included. You still download that the same way as you do any other game from the eShop. I would definitely recommend that at the moment, if you don't have Pokémon Bank installed and you're a fan of any of the Pokémon games, install it, because once those servers are down, you're not going to be able to anymore and it's going to be too late. When the eShop closes, Pokémon Bank is going to become free to use. So currently, as I said, I think it's about £4.50 a year to subscribe to it for one of the Pokémon Bank passes. It lasts for a whole year and you get access to store up to 3,000 Pokemon in Pokémon Bank. After the eShop goes down, it's going to become free, so no more annual passes are going to be required. A premium subscription will still be needed in Pokémon Home if you want to transfer Pokémon from Bank into Home. That is still something that you will need to subscribe to, but in my opinion, if you are a fan of the series, if you're playing a lot of different Pokemon games and you want to carry over your Pokemon, you don't want to just keep them in the game that you've been playing and let them disappear when you delete your save to start a new one, then I would definitely recommend the premium plan for Pokémon Home. It's still relatively cheap as subscriptions go. This is good news that it's going to be free. One question that is still yet to be answered is how long is Pokémon Bank going to continue to be supported after this happens? Pokémon Bank runs on servers just like the eShop does, and servers cost money to run and maintain. So far, the money that players have paid for the annual passes to access Pokémon Bank will likely have covered any of the costs for maintaining and running these servers. If the service is going to become free, then it is likely that at some point in the future, Nintendo will probably make the decision to take those servers offline as well, because ultimately it's going to save them money to do that. It's probably not going to happen in the immediate future. There hasn't been any announcements to say that it's going to, and I'm sure that when they do make that choice to turn them off, we will get plenty of notice to make sure that people can transition any Pokemon over from the 3DS games into Pokemon Home if they're wanting to do that. But it is still a shame, because it does mean that when that does happen, and I'm sure that one day it will, it means that that link between the first 7 generations and then Generation 8 onwards is going to be broken. You'll be able to still catch Pokemon in any of the previous games, but you won't then be able to move them over into Pokemon Home the way that you can now. This is the first time that something like this will be the case since the era of the Game Boy Advance. So for anyone who doesn't know, Generation 1 and 2 were originally compatible with each other on the Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. You could trade Pokemon between those two games. Obviously, you couldn't trade Generation 2 Pokemon into Generation 1 because they didn't exist in that game's code, but you could trade Pokemon from the Generation 1 games into the Johto games, and you could also trade Generation 1 Pokemon that you'd caught in the Johto games over into the Kanto games as well. You could not trade Pokemon from the Game Boy Color games into the Game Boy Advance games. There was no way to connect a Game Boy or a Game Boy Color to a Game Boy Advance in order to trade with them. They were completely incompatible with each other, which is probably one of the reasons why Nintendo first started to remake the Pokemon games starting from Generation 1 with Fire Red and Leaf Green. So if the servers do go offline, not only will the Forgotten be unable to leave Pokemon Home, they'll be unobtainable altogether in the main series. So this kind of sucks, because the whole theme of the Pokemon series has always been gotta catch them all, ever since the very beginning, and the original concept of Pokemon grew from Satoshi Iwata's love of catching and studying insects when he was a child. As I mentioned earlier, Pokemon Home has challenges, and the biggest of which is to complete that national dex. That won't be possible if a handful of Pokemon can't be caught anymore, or can't be caught and then transferred into Pokemon Home. It's no good if you can catch the Pokemon in its original game, but then it's stuck there and you can't move it over into Home. Now, I do have to throw this in here that a lot of the Pokemon on the list of the Forgotten can be found in Pokemon Go, and they can be transferred into Home that way. So for the most part, you probably could complete the challenge that way, but there's still a few that you can't catch in Pokemon Go yet. And For a lot of the main series fans, Pokemon Go just isn't really something that they're interested in. For some people it's fine, and if you're one of those people, then that's absolutely fine, whatever makes you happy. For me in particular, I will catch things in Pokemon Go and I will transfer them into Home, but ultimately I would like to replace them with something that I've caught in one of the main series games. I'm quite a big fan of catching Pokemon in their original region, but for the time being, if those servers go offline and you can't transfer Pokemon from bank anymore and they're not available in Pokemon Go, then that original Color Magiana is going to be completely unobtainable. So this brings us to now, the final few months leading up to the release of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We got a new trailer a few days ago, and it revealed some interesting things about some of the Pokemon on my list of the Forgotten. Of the 61 Pokemon on the list, 13 of them are officially confirmed to be returning in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So the officially confirmed Pokemon that are going to be returning who are currently unavailable in any of the Switch games are Dealing, Swordsbuck, Tynamo, Electric, Electros, Scatterbug, Spupa, Vivillon, Flabebe, Floette, Florges, Skiddo, and Gogoat. So that means that there's only 48 that are currently unaccounted for. And at this point, we don't know for certain whether any more of them will be returning in the Gen 9 games, but it does seem likely, and it does seem like a very good opportunity to bring them back, and even potentially bring us to a point finally where there's no Pokemon trapped in Home, where they can travel to some game on the Switch, even if you're not going to include every Pokemon from the entire National Dex in the new games, as long as you ensure that every Pokemon in the National Dex is available in some of the games that Pokemon Home's compatible with, then I think people would be happy with that. I certainly would be. There's still a couple of Pokemon on the list that seem like they'd be a pretty good fit for a region based on Spain, such as the Baleform for Oricorio. I can't remember if there's been any heavy rumours for that one. Furfrou, I think, would be a good fit because it originated in Kalos, but I think that that's one of the ones that leakers have said is not going to be in the games. The Paldea region for Scarlet and Violet shares a border with Kalos, and it would make sense that some of the Gen 6 Pokemon, which are currently missing, could make an appearance in Paldea. Or potentially, if there's going to be DLC for Scarlet and Violet, maybe make an appearance there. A lot of people seem to think that we may get the opportunity to travel to Kalos in the DLC, and I think that would be a really good opportunity to bring all of those Pokemon back, and potentially the Gen 5 Pokemon as well. Obviously, in Pokemon X and Y, all 6 generations were available in those games, so any of the Unova Pokemon, which are currently unavailable, could also make an appearance there. Hopefully, Nintendo may hear us and may add all these Pokemon back in. As said before, the DLC for Pokemon Sword and Shield re-added over 200 of the missing Pokemon after the original games were released. So if there's only 48 missing Pokemon, then I don't think that that's too much to ask for. But I guess we'll have to wait to find out. And hopefully we'll get some more information on returning Pokemon in the meantime while we wait for the games to release. So what do you think about the Forgotten Pokemon? Are any of your favourites still lost in the depths of Pokemon Home? Will Nintendo find a way to keep Pokemon Bank available even if they decide to discontinue the cloud storage service? Maybe they could make it into an offline storage system saved on your 3DS and maintain compatibility somehow that way. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. I would really like to know how other people feel about this. I'd love to know if any of your favourites are still missing. I'd love to know if you have any particular feelings about what could or could not return in the next games. If you enjoyed the video or you found it useful, then please hit that like button, because that's the best way to let me know and it really helps out. If you're interested in more Pokemon videos like this one, I do intend to make some more. I'm probably going to have some videos around shiny hunting and the different methods over the years. Feel free to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, and I will see you next time.